4.1C under business arising from minutes, 2012 strategic goal, building a viable community and desired outcomes. Item 7.1B under correspondence, Councillor Rhodes regarding a resolution regarding temporary operation of a grinder by J&E Backhoe Limited. Pending report from the Solid Waste Resource Management Advisory Committee and completion of the J&E Backhoe rezoning application. Item number 10.1 under new business, Councillor Tim Rhodes regarding access to Cape Roger Curtis via Thompson Road. And item 10.3, Councillor Darren Jennings regarding recommendation for the Advisory Planning Commission to evaluate the suitability of light industrial activities that relate to solid waste, green waste. And items 11.11 through 16 under information items. We've got letters from members of the public. Should I list each one?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
And just additionally under 10.1A is correspondence from the Conservancy regarding the access to Cape Roger Curtis via Thompson Road.
Sorry,
We'd ask Councillor.
Can I ask can you repeat what you said for the inclusion for Councillor Jennings on table resolution?
Yes, item 10.3, Councillor Darren Jennings regarding recommendation for the Advisory Planning Commission to evaluate the suitability of light industrial activities that relate to solid waste and green waste.
Okay, I would, thank you, I thought for a minute, I thought you were referring to the green waste.
I would suggest an amendment to that resolution.
Which
is that at this time or when we get to it?
When we get to it.
Okay.
Any other additions or changes to the agenda? Can we have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Yeah.
Thank you, Senator. Tim? All those in favor? Thank you.
The first item of business is adoption of minutes. 2.1 minutes of the regular council meeting held March 12th, 2012.
Are there any amendments or errors in the minutes, Councillor Morris?
I apologize, I had the best intentions of getting here early to go through this with Casey and got sidetracked. Council in attendance, you've got Councillor Lucas arriving at 9:40 a.m. and at the bottom of the page you've got him arriving at 9:35 a.m.
My twin. Good catch.
Twin.
Yeah.
Good catch, Councillor Morris.
And then a couple of them are just tiny typos, which I won't go through. The motion on resolution 12045 on page 2, you need to delete a few words. The motion I recall making was that council direct staff to write a letter to the BC Ministry of Transportation and Translink with a copy to BC Fairs indicating council's support for a water taxi service from Bowen Island to downtown Vancouver.
Okay.
So deleting the phrase regarding the provision of a water taxi service at the beginning and changing of having to for.
Okay.
And then the first bullet further down that page, discussion ensued relative to, and I know this is my hobby horse, the use of the capital and stabilization fund, not approval.
Okay.
And Councillor Morris, re-update our meeting with Minister of Transportation on the next page. Key comments included. Anyhow, the comment about the fare increases had nothing to do with the meeting with the minister, so I'd like to change it to say Councillor Morris reminded council that the fares will increase on April 1st, 2012 by 4.15%. By 4.15%.
discussion? All those in favor?
Next set of minutes are the minutes for the special meeting of council held Tuesday, March 20th at 9 a.m.
I'm sorry I didn't hop.
It's okay.
Councillor Morris.
Last paragraph on the first page, we talked, the provided's in there twice. Councilor Moore spoke to the matrix as provided on as provided on table, so change the word the first provided to spoke to the. And on the next page, under advisory design panel, you've got a comment, no new discussion, and I sort of redundant, yeah. And we need a heading on the left column beside the right under board of variance, where it says the current Bowen Community Center Action Committee has completed their mandate. And did we appoint 2 councillors on the bottom to the Cove Bay Water System? It says Councillor Dunce and Councillor Cove Bay Water
Stone.
District.
Councillor Stone.
Still, yeah.
Councillor Zins.
And by general consensus in the middle of the next page, Councillor Rhodes was appointed as council liaison to the Greenways Advisory Committee and was requested to inform, you need to insert the committee that its work be confined to rather than based on.
Okay.
And the other, just a couple of little typos, bring up later.
We would ask
So would move adoption of the minutes as amended.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Next set of minutes are the minutes from the regular council meeting held March 26th, 2012 at 1 p.m. It's on page 9 of your agenda.
Councillor Morris, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, sorry about this. Under adoption of the minutes on page 2, Councillors Jennings and Dunce left the meeting, but don't we have to put in the minutes
We do, the
why
reason for
the
the
reason for the conflict? So I don't know whether we want to
We have the notes
defer
for that.
these minutes till we
Yeah, why don't we
approve
defer
that?
these until a future agenda? Bring those back on our next agenda. No, we'll just defer those. We'll just do that.
Okay.
Then our next item of business.
Just like to make a comment on page 12. I'd like actually to make this, to have this put into the record, that basically it shows that on resolution 12-054, which was regarding Ferry Marshland Planning Scheme Z, that I voted in opposition to having a meeting. And I voted for basically Plan Z, which is totally contrary to what I had intended, or my intent. In point of fact, I have no objection to the meeting being held to deal with Ferry Marshland on the 14th. But I did have, and I did speak against introducing Plan Z into the mechanism, and I have no rational reason for how this might have happened, other than the fact that we had changes to the resolution at the last minute, and the resolution as it was printed in our agenda was what I was against. And the resolution as it was amended on the table at the last minute was different. So what my brain heard was one thing, but what my eyes read was another, and I just want that noted. And that possibly when we do these resolutions, that we have more time to deal with them in advance, and that they have some paper backing to go with them. I would hope that that would be something that we strive towards.
So Councillor Lewis, just to be clear, you voted in favor of the public meeting be held on April 14th?
I'm shown as voting in opposition to the public meeting.
But that's
But
incorrect.
that obviously was the case, because I did vote that way because I thought Plan Z was embedded in that resolution,
Okay.
which in fact it wasn't. The amended version of the table had it removed.
I also think it would be good to get in the habit of having Casey reread the motions before council votes on them, because it makes her life easier as well. So we'll get in that habit. So we'll defer
So
adoption of those minutes until the next.
Defer adoption.
Our next item of business is public comments, and I think Casey has the,
Yes. We have 5 speakers, and the first one is Ian Henley.
I'm on deck now?
Yes, you are, sir.
Well,
Welcome back.
well, thank you very much. I haven't been around because I'm getting old, you know, and I can't quite get the steam up. And last night I thought, gee, it'd be a good idea if I checked to see what's going on in council. And I read the agenda for the meeting and some of the material that came with it. And I couldn't believe my eyes. And I started, my stomach started churning. And I could hardly get to sleep. And I got up this morning and I started getting ready to come to this meeting. And I couldn't get my printer to go, and I couldn't get anything to go, and my stomach is still churning. But I did want to be here and have my name on the list, because I'm very much concerned about what's happened in the past. And people like me, and many of you on council, have from time to time over the years gone to meetings and went to a lot of work to prepare for those meetings and endeavored to make a proper presentation. But what happens? They sat there, looked at us, and nodded their heads once in a while, and we never heard another thing. They totally ignored what was going on. So I looked at that agenda, and I saw some pretty amazing things. First one being that they're going to get rid of the greenways. Now, that was one of the things that I felt was a great intrusion. Somebody listened. The voters listened because they voted overwhelmingly to put our friends here in office and to give us some representation for the majority of people on Bowen, not the few that signed that thing for Cape Roger Curtis Trust. Former people considered them the most important thing that ever happened on Bowen Island was that committee. Now, here we are. We've got a council who, first of all, in this agenda, decided that we were going to get rid of the greenways. About time too. Then, that's the next one here. I'm sorry, but I had to do this early this morning. We've got Belterra here. I've got their badge on. And I can't imagine how come it's taken so long to get to the point of having someone do something innovative to look after housing. Everybody should have a real cheer for Belterra. Yay! And people sat on their hands and let them struggle to get to this point. And congratulations, I hope you get it today. And now you're going to, Bowen Island Municipality is going to do something about the development permit bylaw. That thing has been a mess for years, and I just hope, I haven't seen the draft bylaw, but I hope you do something about the manner in which development permits have been obtained in the past on the island, and the dead faces that would come up here when somebody came up with something innovative. I hope you can satisfy the majority of people on Bowen Island that you are listening. I think you are, actually. And then Jolene Lee is putting an item before council on the notice file, which most of us thought was an imposition anyway. But it's for Spider Robinson's daughter. Spider is one of the eminent people on Bowen Island. He's the author of science fiction and well known throughout North America and the world. He followed after Henley and finished one of his stories. Now here he is, he lost his beloved Jeannie, and now his daughter's having a real serious problem, and I assume the council will not have much difficulty giving a committee the opportunity to have an event at the Legion for Spider and his daughter. I just want you to know that I actually read these things once in a while. Then, the Finance Committee has prepared a 20-page report. I was dumbfounded when I started to read that and see what that committee, Michael Cornelison, Gordon Elliott, and others who I know, I can't remember all their names now, but that is a masterpiece. We've never been blessed with having such a number of highly qualified people giving their services for nothing to help you and us get out of our financial difficulties and get on the high road. And a great deal of thanks should be given to them. And I'm glad to see that Michael appreciated and welcomed the assistance that he got from staff in his preparation of that report. And the fact that there was a great getting together and an understanding. I know that I talked to Gordon Elliott. He was on holiday somewhere, God knows, maybe Hawaii for all I know. And he spent 2 hours on the phone to attend one of those meetings. So good on you guys. And I hope that the staff will benefit from their hard work. And it isn't over yet either. Oh yeah, and I see Erwin Smith there. Erwin has been the one who's been trying to get that boat launch done for years and years. And I see they're just about ready to deal with that. Oh yeah, but they're going to have to find money for it, but that's we thought we were going to get it years ago. So I'm glad to see council's going to get some of these very important things done. And here, oh yes, Tim Rhodes, you've written a report about the access to Cape Roger Curtis. Now that, it's about time something was done about that. There was an application made years ago to provide alternate access to Cape Roger Curtis. And it was a no-brainer. It really was. You have to have 2 ways to get in there or get out in the case of fire or for any other reasons where a road might be blocked. So what happened? A report was made, and I wrote a letter, and I passed around a copy of a letter that came from Van Long, a 3-page letter, explaining why we had to have that access approved by putting a road across Crown land. And the then CAO, Isabel Hadford, was given the task of being the approving officer, and for some reason, and I could guess, but that's only a guess, she didn't approve it. And that was the end of that. So we've been struggling with that problem. Oh yes, one of the reasons why was that there was something called a ferry fen on the Crown land. And that was the big excuse. Ferry fen will not be within yards, meters away from that. It wouldn't put a road through it anyway because it's a swamp. Now, I think I'm getting down to the end of things. Oh yeah, there are all kinds of letters written. Did you know that? There are a lot of people opposed to what's going on, but this is one of the first agendas that I've seen because I haven't seen many lately, that didn't have about half the time taken up with the park and the OCP. But I did notice that you've got a waste management committee. Now, I suggest that the waste management committee spend a bit of time to see if they can find something that will be efficient to remove the waste. I had another word for that, but began with C, in that OCP. So it would be a usable document that could be brought before us without having to carry around a large book to find the one thing that you find that is necessary. Anyway, thank you all for doing what you've done, getting things going, and getting some action for myself and all of those thousands of people who voted for you and changed the whole picture on Bowen Island. And don't let these letters that you get bother you, because nobody paid any attention to us. Now it's about time we had our say and you listened to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.